Bleacher Report, and I was like, "Hey, fuck, man, aren't you Will Chope's teammate?" I was like, "Yeah, let's check this shit out." Sends me the link, and I'm like, "Whoa, okay." I'm like the ugly truth behind Will Chope's military discharge, and here I am thinking, it's just sensationalized old story lah, And next thing I know, he gets cut from the UFC. I think that is I know lah, that got me a bit angry in a sense.
Yeah.
Because Diego Brandao, no offense to Diego Brandao,
Uh-huh.
wanted to stab Dustin Poirier in the fucking neck
Yep.
during the weigh-ins, and that shit wasn't even, yeah. And Will Chope, who's a nice guy, gets cut immediately for a mistake he made 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's the
God,
thing. Okay, the thing is, Nick, you have been live for a few since you
uh-huh,
start talking about your friend in UK. You wanna
uh-huh.
disclose who your friend is?
Nah, I'm not gonna disclose who it is. I don't think he would appreciate it.
All right then. As I'm waiting for Suman to get on because he just got on Skype. Um, I like the fans to see what Will Chope has to say for his interview on MMA fighting.
Hey, I'm
Well,
really sorry that this is all
here's the
out, and
thing. This is more of a damage control kind of thing.
Uh huh.
So the only thing that UFC, excuse me, the only thing that Will Chope can do right now is issue an official statement, whether it be by video or by press or whatsoever, and win back his fans. Because I'm pretty sure that with that kind of statement, you're bound to lose a few fans, and you're bound to be kind of frowned upon by a few organizations,
Uh huh.
you know, because some of these organizations have stands when it comes to these kind of things, but it kind of defeats the purpose of martial arts. Because for some people, like for myself, I've always found martial arts a way of redemption,
Uh huh.
has it's always been an art to redeem yourself, in a sense, to save you from the nonsense that is life pulling you down, and I think that the UFC actually picked upon this reason to release Will Chope, despite the fact that yes, he did do what he do, but he did serve his time, and he did what he did, and he carried out the sentence. And I guess that it's just really unfair that because of a mistake Will Chope did 5 years ago when he was 17 or 18, is coming back to haunt him now. It's just, I think it's a travesty, and yeah, it's what it is. It's a travesty.
Suman,
That's right. Hey, man.
Hey,
hey.
Sman.
All right, let's start the show.
Let's
I
go for
have
it.
I have Mr. Australian top team Suman Mokhtarian who just got on, and we have
I did.
our Muay Fit woman fight team champion Nick
Hey,
Rice.
ladies top team champion, motherfucker. Don't be taking the piss out of me, man.
All right. Nick, you can tell us the story about the ladies top team later. But I want to start off with okay. UFC Fight Night was a great event. It was worth it for me. Being up in the morning at 4:30 a.m. to watch all the fights. But of course, there's a blemish on the record, and just to uh clear the record, this is what Will Chope have to say at the end of the MMA fighting interview.
I'm sorry for what I did, and I know I'm gonna live with these consequences for the rest of my life. But I promise you guys, I'm a better person, and I try every day to be a better fighter and a better man, not just for myself, but just for my family and all my friends. So I just hope you guys continue to support me and just watch out, because this ain't gonna stop me. I'm still gonna fight.
All right, that was the interview that Will Chope had on MMA Fighting. That is the only video interview that I can source for. But before we start about UFC being making that awful decision, in my opinion, Jeremy fucking Botter, Bleacher Report. I hate this kind of MMA journalism. Right, that's happening back then. That we had what Tyler Manoeroa, we had Mark Hunt, who just got off a fight with Bigfoot Silva, and they were talking about something about Silva taken, and Mark Hunt said, I want to get on this shit, and it was off the record, and people actually publish it online. A cruel, hateful journalism. Like Suman, you have any experience on that?
Man, like I don't have any experience on like personally on uh like that type of journalism. Like no one's really written anything like that. But let me tell you something. If if what happened to Will Chope happened to me, I'm gonna get a fucking gun and I'm gonna go down to whoever wrote the fucking report. And I'm gonna shoot him myself.
Dude,
Right?
dude.
You just like you. I listen. I know how hard Will Chope has worked to get to where he is. Like Nick Harris was saying, MMA for a lot of us is a sport for redemption. You know, man, like my story came out a few weeks ago, and my whole story didn't come out. Okay, and we all have a past. Everyone has a past.
That's for
Um,
sure.
we all have done things we're not proud of and things like that. But this is what our sport is about. Like Nick said, it's about redemption. It's about finding our purpose in life, finding our way in life. You know, Will Choate found his way in life and he found his escape. He may have been had a troubled past or done some things that were stupid, silly, or whatever they were. Right? He may have done that, but man, like everyone deserves a second chance. In my opinion, I think like I do not condone anything that had happened. Like, but at the same time, I wasn't there, so I don't know. You know, I'm not a police officer. I'm not a reporter. I'm nothing like that. But I believe that many people deserve a second chance. I don't condone domestic violence. I don't condone violence against other people at all. But I think some people do make mistakes, and some mistakes, you know, like what are you meant to do? The guy found his way in life, worked hard to get to where he is, and then he just has it ripped off again by some stupid faggot journalist who just wants to get a few views on his fucking um like on his page. You know, like Mohammed, I've spent many nights like speaking to you, and I've said some things to you, and a lot of the things I say to you are off record as well, you know, and I say that because I trust you. You know, if you were to go back and say something that maybe I said that was off the record and it taint my reputation or whatever it was, or use it against me, like some reporters will, like they'll dig in somewhere to use something against me. I can guarantee you right now, if my dreams have been taken away at your hands, I'll take your life away. That's the type of person I am. I think it's real shady. I think it's real shitty, and I think it's bullshit. And you know what? More than anything, okay, fair enough. The UFC are trying to stamp down and make an example of they're not putting up with domestic violence, and that's fine. But I think the way they dealt with it was really, really unprofessional. I heard
Exactly.
Will Chope found out about it on Twitter, which I think is fucking stupid, retarded, and I think it's horrible. You know, let the guy fight, investigate after, sit the guy down and speak to him, ask him what happened. Don't just be like, all right, fuck, some guy wrote a report, let's get rid of the fucking guy. The guy cut weight, was ready to fight. Let him fight and deal with it after the show. If it was a week or two out, that's one thing. It was on the day of the fight that they pulled him out. You know,
Exactly.
I think that's bullshit. You know, let the show must go on.
Like I feel it's unfair to Diego Brandao as well, af-
Exactly.
but after actually I've once the news went out that Will Choke was cut, I've spoken to a lot of guys on the MMA community, and they were telling me that Jeremy Botter actually posted this tweet to confirm it with Will Choke like 2 weeks ago. I did not get any images of that, but this is just what the sources told me, and apparently Will actually deleted that tweet. So the next day, right after the weigh-in, basically just like 13 hours 13 hours just before that cut, the news made it on Bleacher Report. And in 13 hours, UFC made a decision to cut Will Chope. Nick, what kind of organization would try to cut a fighter in record time based on things that he did 5 years ago?
Now, I'm not saying that there's a lot of justice in this world, yeah. I think that it's a little bit unjustified, what the UFC did. I think it's unjustified because of the manner it was done. Yes, I mean, Will Chope did what. Okay, let's just talk about what Will Chope did. Okay, what Will Chope did is wrong, right? And no matter what way you put it, he still did something wrong. And despite the fact that he's a brilliant, smart, really funny guy right now, right? We can't deny the fact that what happened 5 years ago happened. And sometimes people take advantage of that and people want to sensationalize it. More than anything, because of the sensationalization of this story, right? It affects the image of the UFC. And the UFC has always been about the image, correct?
Yes.
Why do you think they have certain fighters gunning? Like, why do you think that the UFC hates Bendo so much? Because of the image. Because of the image that Bendo portrays. He's going to be a guy that's just going to suffocate you and stay on top of you for the entire 5 rounds and make it boring. Same thing with Ben Askren. Why is this case with Will Chope? Because if Will Chope fights, they're going to be thinking that, oh, okay, the story is out. This hooligan who I'm saying this as like a normal casual fan. This hooligan's allowed to fight. Like, what's this nonsense? You know, the fans, the casual fans, and sadly, the organization do not give a shit about the fighters at times because this isn't about the fight. This is about the business of the fight. That's why they call it the fight business. It's no different than working in a fucking office now. The only thing is, I don't have to wear a fucking suit and tie. It's a bit
They're even
sad.
trying to employ that now, you know. They're trying to make everyone wear suits and ties and shit. They're trying to make everyone wear a uniform, you know. Like, what's it getting to where we can't have an image or a past, you know? That past is what makes us who we are.
Exactly.
Um, like I said, I don't condone anything that happened. I think it's wrong what had happened, but like you said as well, this is for a redemption sport. You know, everyone, man. I know. Maybe yourself, Nick, as well. You'd understand, man. Without MMA, where would you be right now?
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Will Chope, without this sport, would maybe be that same person he was 5 years ago. So
Exactly.
maybe it's the UFC should applaud him for getting so far. You know, I know that his ex girlfriend or her ex wife, she herself had posted up when the news broke that people change and they still have a healthy relationship and
Yeah.
everything like that. You know, so if she can forgive him, why can't the public or the UFC forgive him? You know, I just think it's sad that the dreams of some. I know Will Chope. He's a fighter. He will fight anyone, anytime, anywhere. And
Exactly.
he's worked very hard to get to where he is. And you know what? I didn't know anything about this before. Every meeting that every time I've ever met Will, he was really friendly, really nice guy. You know, so like I said, people change, and it's a sport that changes us. It's maybe the UFC that has changed him. Now the UFC's been taken away. Like, what's there left for him to do? What happens tomorrow? Sorry if this gets taken out of context, but what happens tomorrow if the guy goes and kills himself tomorrow? Whose fault is that? You know, like
Exactly.
it's not anyone's fault, but that's what's kept him going this whole time. You know, going through a dark path. That's like saying, again, I'm very sorry if I offend anyone by saying this. That's like saying um, if a child gets touched or anything like when they were younger, that they should remain mentally scarred for the rest of their life. Why can't they fight through that? Maybe mixed martial arts is what's helped them through that. What does the UFC not want that image? Or no, everything can be portrayed in a different way, but whether you did something wrong or something wrong was done to you, like you said, it's about redemption, and this is a redemption sport. So, like I think it's real cruel. It actually really upset me when I saw the report. I thought it was a rumor or something, so I kept having to read back on it, and And then when I found out that it was real, I was really, really heartbroken. You know?
Yeah, man. I,
Yeah.
I was I was really heartbroken too. But as much as we want to talk about the worst situation possible, from the interview that I've seen Will on, he puts on a brave face. He was clearly disappointed, but I think he has already moved on. He already said that he's going back to Florida to meet his daughter and his ex-wife, and they are going to Disney World together. And Will Chope have already been offered a fight in Taiwan in May. Pro FC.
But that's Pro FC, right?
Yep.
Now, do you think that stops other organizations, Bellator or One FC or Rebel or someone? Do you think that stops them from signing Will Chope?
Um, Unfortunately, yes. Bellator, maybe WSOF is a bit more edgy. Bellator, I don't think so. Rebel and 1FC, the problem with organizations in Singapore is they like to keep a clean image.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
That's
know.
the thing.
I just think that that's probably the worst part. You know.
Yep.
Um.
It's a
Well,
problem. I feel organizations, the mindsets of organizations have to mature, and UFC is seen like a big daddy, and this kind of decisions they make like a role model to smaller promotions like One FC and Rebel. And if UFC were to lead the way in doing this, who would want to go out of their way and sign Will Chope other than Pro FC or a few other even smaller, not known organizations?
if you would ask me, listen, he's a featherweight guy as well. If there was another organization out there listening, Will Chope, he's the man. You know, if he's there's a guy that you want in there to fight, then he's a fighter. I don't think that they should fuck the UFC if it's like that. You know what I mean? I don't care what comes back to. I'm not going to the UFC. I don't give a fuck. You know, so Dana White can suck my dick. But like I don't know. Like I just think it's real horrible, and yeah, fuck the UFC.
Yeah, but I just want to end this with what one FC fighter Samir Murabit said. He said that this weekend he went to an orphanage and was trying to change the lives of the kids. He knows that the kids won't end up as world class fighters, but he will try his best to make them world class citizens. Following the fight cancellation of Will Chope early morning, what he said was, "Should I come back on my words and tell the kids that no matter what or where they came from and how deep was the hole before martial arts pulled them out of it, their past will always catch them back up."
Exactly.
Exactly. And one more thing, um, like it's a real shame if someone like Will Chope says after this, okay, he might take one fight, but then he realizes, man, I'm never gonna hit the big stage again. I don't want to like fight anymore. Now, I'm not gonna really go too much into it, but I've got good reason to believe that Tyler Manowari it won't fight anymore. I've been told by someone that he's not training anymore. He thinks his dreams are over. His past caught up with him, and he's retiring at the age of 19.
Wow.
I think that's a real shame, and I think it's horrible to hear something like that. Someone so young, so talented, want to give it up now because of that. But yeah, I found that I heard that from a pretty good source.
Oh man, that
No.
sucks, man.
So it's
No.
over one image of okay, let's be honest. What he wrote was stupid. The hashtags or the photo wasn't that problem. I think it was more the hashtags or whatever it was. But I don't know. Like I think it was taken out of context, and now the kid thinks his own career is over. That's fucked.
Uh,
And
Personally,
I'm sure you guys all feel as bad as I do about the whole situation.
personally, I think here's how I see it. Okay, the UFC has taken away the livelihood of a person. Now, let's just say that your entire life, Suman, has been culminating in this particular moment where you go to work every fucking day of your life. You do the same thing every day of your life, but you're content and you're happy. correct? You'll be fine with doing what you're doing every day, you know, even if it's the same thing over and over again. But it's because you love it, you continue to do it. When one day a person takes away that thing that you do every day, takes it away and says, you know, because of who you were, you can't do this anymore. You literally give up on everything because that's just you're back to square one. You do this thing that you love because it takes you out of this hole that leads to depression, drugs, abuse, and so on and so forth. Hell, I come from a shady past myself, you know. I've done my fair share of drugs. I've done my fair share of women, and martial arts saved me because if it wasn't for that, you know, I would be doing something stupid with my life. And if you take away my livelihood, or better yet, if you take away the only thing I know I can do well, what's there left for me? The UFC, no, let's not just keep this to the UFC. MMA organizations in general have got to stop sensationalizing their athletes. This isn't a modeling contest. This isn't a personality contest. We're not in this to win American Idol. We're in this to fight.
That's
And
fucking right.
and I mean, you think about it. You know, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Like every time a fighter goes in, like why isn't Condit more popular than GSP, for example? Despite the fact that Condit's record, Condit's way of fighting, and all that is because that he's just not charismatic championship material. That's the thing. I know a lot of guys who perform way better than me in terms of my MMA career. But why am I more popular than them? Because what? Because I know how to talk, because I know how to make jokes, because I have a character. It's not enough. It's not enough now in this current day and age for you to have a good MMA skill set. It's not enough. You've got to have that extra thing. And when that character part comes into play, and remember, MMA is as much as entertainment as it is a sport. I mean, if the fight has so much character in it, like let's just say a trash talking fight between Nick Diaz and another trash talker, like a really good trash talker, you'll be so into the fight because that fight has character. So yeah, I mean, you can't have it without it, and
You
at the
can't do
same
it without
time,
a
the sport
story.
will do so much better
Yeah,
with.
it's true. Like
Yep,
what Suman say is true. You can do a fight, or you can actually do a fight, but you still need a story. Whether it's before or after, you still need a story for that fight. Like
Listen,
yeah,
over everything, you know what? Over everything. One thing I like to hear is I enjoy hearing about those people who came from a fucked up past, or even people who spent time in jail, right? And come back and say, you know, I learned this, and this, and that is why I'm here today. That's why I have these kids who I love so much, blah, 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 all that shit. I like hearing that more than I grew up rich and nothing was ever wrong in my life. I've done karate since I was 5 years old, jiu-jitsu since I was 10 years old, all this shit. I don't like hearing about all those guys that had everything given to them. I like hearing about the kids like myself. Right now, until the age of 12, I was one of those kids that anything I wanted was all given to me. Right, but then everything was taken away. You know, and I think that was what was harder for me. Everything was given to me on a silver plate, and then my life went tumbling down. Everything was taken away, right? And I had nothing left. You know, when you give someone something to eat every day, and then you take the plate away from them, it's hard. Those people that grew up,
of
you
course.
know, and never had it, they kind of got used to it. You know, so the way I saw it was, you know, it was harder for me because I got a taste of it. I got a taste of what a good life is, and then it was all taken away, and then I had to build myself up again. So that's why I like hearing about people whose life went tumbling down and they picked themselves back up. And that's what the Will Chope story would have been. It was a guy who at 18, 19 years old, like, made a mistake, did something stupid, right? But has now picked himself up and is moving forward. But now he's been knocked back down to the ground. Like,
no,
you know,
not only that. Will not only had just served time. He came out and started to try fighting, and he actually started off with a losing streak.
Yeah, man. Like, let me tell you something. I've trained with Will and I've watched Will train. I didn't get to train with Will much, but I trained a few times with him, and Will is by far not at all one of the talented guys you will see in the gym. I'll be very honest with you. He doesn't have great striking. He doesn't have good submissions or good wrestling or strong power. And he was probably that awkward guy that walked in the gym. But everything he's worked hard for. He works incredibly hard, and he's got the biggest heart on him, and that's why he's became scared because he's worked so hard. Now, someone who doesn't want it doesn't work that hard. This kid wants it. That's what's the
Yep.
worst part about this being taken away from him. Like, Nick, I don't know if you've ever met Will, have you?
He trains with me at my gym. He's like
Oh,
one of the regular faces in my gym.
yeah. Well, you
So
yourself would know he's not one of the more talented guys that you would see, but he doesn't give up. He goes hard, and like I said, the guy's
that's
made
for
a lot
sure.
of sacrifices. The guy has lived in huts in Thailand. Um,
Exactly.
he's done it all. He's lived off nothing pretty much just to get to where he is and earn $6,000 for a show, which was something out of this world for him, and he was so grateful for it. And now that's even taken away from him, you know what I mean? Nick, you would know. So
Yeah, exactly.
Well, at least the positive
I mean,
side of
I do.
yeah, I feel at least the positive side of things is that Will Chope is still 23, and I believe there are a lot of Asian promoters. I'm not talking about Rebel and One. I think I don't know whether Justin would be edgy enough to try and take Will on, but I would love to see him doing that.
hey,
Um,
man, it's time to rebel.
yep.
Fuck, that's the fucking slogan, So like, hey, if there's one guy you want to get on, and you really want to fucking rebel, say fuck to all the other, fuck all the other organizations. You're going one out. You're going on your own. Do it. Fuck. If one FC is ballsy enough to do it, do it. Fucking the fighters will praise you. Because like I said, we've all got a fucking past. We don't want like, oh man, Patrick Cummins. Patrick Cummins.
Yeah.
Let's do we all forget that he spent time in jail for armed robbery
Yep.
or robbery in company as well? Like, do we all forget about that? The news broke before that, but why didn't it get pulled? Why? Because he was talking so much shit, right? And they needed a replacement for Daniel Cormier, so they want to fucking keep him on, right? That's bullshit, man. Like, I know a few people were saying, oh, but Diogo Brandao threatened to stab Dustin Poirier in the neck. That's nothing. That's just Brazilian being Brazilian. That's a typical
That's just a
Brazilian.
Brazilian being a Brazilian.
Exactly. Yeah, that's just him being him. Like he grew up in the favela, and this and that. Man, I know what the Brazilians are like, but no one says anything to him. Why? Because he didn't actually do anything. It was just entertainment. But if you're in Australia, man, if I tell someone I'm gonna stab them in the neck, I get charged. That I get taken to court.
It's the same in Singapore. I think it's the same in Malaysia.
Yeah, if I tell someone I'm gonna stab them in the neck, then I could possibly go to jail if the judge thinks that I'm putting other people's lives at risk. That's me going into jail. So where does that happen? I don't think it's that bad, but at the same time, like, we don't have a fine line of what's okay and what's not, because I certainly don't think robbing someone is okay. I think stealing is just as bad as anything. You know, stealing is just. I don't know. I'm not gonna get it. Fuck them. Fuck Patrick Cummins. Fuck Ben Askren. Fuck them all.
I knew that Ben Askren. I know fuck Ben Askren was coming sooner or later.
I bet Ben Askren's got a past. But you know what? As
Yeah.
much as I hate Ben Askren as well, if this had happened to Ben Askren, I would still say this is bullshit. Because just like every other fighter, man, he's worked hard to get to where he is. Even as boring as he is, but he worked hard to get to where he is, and it'd be a shame if that was taken away from him. Will Chope as well, someone I've met, and a cool guy. It fucking sucks that this happened. Out of all the fights that were on that card, aside from Shogun and Henderson, that was the one fight that I was really looking forward to. I saw the height difference, and I'm like, how's this gonna work out? And I was robbed of a chance to see Will and Diego, who I really like as a fighter. I think the UFC robbed me, and I think that they owe all the fans an apology.
Well, basically,
Exactly.
I basically agree with everything that you said. Um, I'm a bit skeptical that ONE FC will want to sign Will or Tyler Manueroa. But Justin, Chad, if you're listening to this, you go and fucking sign both of them.
Yeah, fuck, man. Like, let me tell you something. Tyler is the shit. Tyler is the man. You know, like, I'm not gonna reveal anything that happens in the next episode of Tough. But don't worry about that. Sign that kid up. Sign Will Chope up, and show fighters that we have a chance. Rebel will give people a chance to come back. You know, like your slogan says, it's time to rebel. Rebel against the other companies who say no when you're down. When someone wrote something on a page, on the Rebel page the other day, or it was about a week ago. Rebel wrote a mission statement, and this person had wrote, "I don't get what the mission statement means," and I said to him, it could mean a lot of things for a lot of different people. And then at the end of it, I wrote, "It's time to rebel." And he goes, "Rebel against what?" And I go, "Rebel against anyone who ever said you can't fucking do something." You know, and I think that's what Rebel's about. So to anyone who ever said you can't fucking do something, to everyone who said you can't fight or do this, man. When I first started wanting to fight, and even still to this day, right? My mum, when I see my mum, like, man, like, I don't see my mum very often, but when I do, she always says to me, because I'm her little boy, she always says to me, "Nah, fighting's not for you. You don't have it in you." And she goes, "Leave the fighting up to your brother." And she always laughs. But see, that again is someone saying that I can't do something, which is something that pushes me harder. So I rebel against that. And that's what I think that the organization should stand for. If the UFC say you can't be an image of a big organization, fuck them. Let's rebel. Let's get Will Chope and Tyler Manuara onto it.
Yeah, that would be a great idea, man. But the fucked up thing about this is that
It probably won't happen. And let's be honest, it probably won't happen. And I can understand why companies say no, but it would be great to see a company just say fuck it.
yeah, man, I totally agree with you. But the fucked up thing about this is I was pissed off that UFC robbed me of a fight. But at the end of the day, when UFC put on fights, I will still watch them.
Yeah,
That's the
like I
fucked
said,
up
like I
thing,
said,
man.
anyone who's ever written on Facebook or Twitter or anything, "I will never watch the UFC again because of the judging," or whatever the fuck, you're all liars. You're all sitting in your room watching the UFC right now. You know, they're just constant lies. No matter what we say, we're going to watch it. We can't. I'm an addict. It's like putting it like. It's like putting drugs in front of a drug addict. You got to do it. If my TV's there and I've got a few DVDs lying there, I start itching and I just start putting my DVD in the player, and I'm just like, yeah, let's go. GSP Nick Diaz. Yeah, let's watch this shit. I don't know. I'm an addict. What can I say? And then UFC's my fix.
All right, let's breeze through the prelims because I believe Nick didn't watch the prelims, and I tell you, Nick, you were missing out on a hell of a show.
Yeah, man.
Godolfrode,
Oh shit! I heard because
what did you heard?
because I heard from pals of mine because I couldn't. I woke up halfway and I got like a message. I was like, dude, watch UFC now, 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 now. And I was like, why? I was like thinking, what is it going to be like a boring fight? I was like, no, man, it's explosive as shit. Everyone's killing each other. Fights like a fight of the night. It's crazy. And I was like, fuck. I was like, okay, I'll watch it in 5 minutes. Fell asleep again, woke up, got it just in time to see Shogun kick some ass in the first few rounds and get knocked out. And it's anticlimactic match, but yeah.
All right, that we will talk about the main event later. I will breeze through with Suman for the prelims now. Pepe and Lahat. that flying knee, Suman.
Man, holy shit.
That's some fucking
Watching,
holy shit, man.
man, when I saw that, because I didn't watch the prelims either.
Uh huh.
What I did, I recorded the prelims because I knew I'd be asleep. So I recorded the whole event, woke up, and then unfortunately, the number one thing I never do, if I ever have recorded a UFC event, I don't go onto Facebook. So I wake up in the morning and then I open my Facebook on my phone, and the first status that I see is "Holy shit, Pepe." I can't remember who the hell wrote that, but I wanted to punch the shit out of them. Damn it, like, it doesn't become exciting for me anymore. Like, I'm just like, all right, now I know who's gonna win. Fuck this. So I just fast forwarded to the end. You know, I saw the first few seconds of the fight, and I'm just like, you know what? I'll watch this. All right. And holy shit, that double flying knee! It collected him square on the button and put him to sleep. The best thing was the way his opponent was knocked out against the cage. You know, he was out, and that, you know what? The commentators were saying the same thing. That's going to be on a human, like on one of the highlight reels for a long time. That was one of the coolest flying knees I've ever seen.
Yeah, the thing is, Pepe was throwing uh, hands with bad intention. He was just swinging for the fences at the first round, and I thought, God, this guy might guess. But when you look at that flying knee, what Lahat did was very interesting. He was going back while his hands was actually covering his face. While he was moving back, he was trying to take Pepe down.
Yeah, I was trying to shoot.
Right, and
If
while
someone's trying to knee you, not a good time to shoot.
yeah, and while he was moving back and Pepe was flying, he actually opened up his arms and was trying to take him down. I think that was the crucial moment that got him knocked out. If his hands was up, I still think he could survive that round.
Man,
Not at all.
I think one thing is, like, you know, if some people like to do it when they're stepping back to change angles and shoot, you know, but that's when you can get caught. All right, the best time to shoot is when you have your opponent backing up and with his hands up. So you commit to your punches and then you shoot. You don't shoot out of being scared. If you shoot out of being scared, you're either gonna cop an uppercut or a knee, like we just saw. You know, and I think, and that's what set it up. Pepe's big hands, he was throwing with leather, and I think he made his opponent shit himself. You know, he got him scared, got him walking back, and made him shoot out of desperation of being so scared of his hands, and that's what set up the big knockout.
And that's what I thought. But Nick, you've thrown a flying knee in one FC in your fight against Zuli Silawanto. How does that feel?
Yes.
Connecting to a flying knee.
Well, I've thrown flying knees. Like I've thrown flying knees in almost every of my fight. It's one of those moves that I just love to throw, and I don't know. It's just something. It's just something so sexy about it. It's just I don't know how to explain it. It is what it is. It's a flying knee. It's something so simple. It's something so devastating. But when it connects, or when you even land it, you don't even have to land it square. If you land it just nice enough, and it hurts your opponent. I remember hurting Brad with the flying knee. It's a different kind of satisfaction, and yeah, it's
As long as it looks sexy, it's good.
yeah, it looks fucking sexy, man. My fucking the flying knee photo in one FC, like wow, all the ladies on my Facebook said, Harish, you look so sexy. I was like, yeah, I know, I'm just keeping it real, just doing my thing.
Well, it was unfortunate that you didn't get the knockout with that flying knee, but that would be on the highlight reel of ONE FC for a very, very long time until we see another one coming, which is quite rare in an MMA fight to see.
Hey, let me tell you something. My next fight, holy shit, watch out for that, because
Wow.
I feel. Listen, I'm calling it now. I feel sorry. Hey, I'm gonna say something right now, right? And this is going off flying knees and things like that. I do not give a fuck what happens in my next fight, as long as it's entertaining as fuck. All right, let me tell you something. I'm going there to fucking turn some heads. Let me again, I'm an amateur for a reason. I want to have some fucking fun. All right. So
That's fair.
I'm gonna do it now and test shit out. But be expecting some shit.
Yeah, I have a feeling both of you guys will start throwing flying knees tomorrow in a sparring session at your respective gyms.
One of my young guys today threw one at me and nearly knocked my teeth out. You know?
Wow.
Yeah, and we was meant to be like doing 20% sparring, and he started kneeing the shit out of me. Well,
All
fucking,
right.
I'm.
Next up, Scott Jorgensen, Jose Formiga. I thought in the first round it was pretty even until that unfortunate headbutt. Suman, you saw that fight?
Yeah, I saw that. Man, I don't know what. Like, I've got Scott Jorgensen on Facebook, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was writing, and he was pissed about that headbutt. I think, man, it happens.
Yeah,
Um,
shit
Yeah,
happens.
you know, like shit happens. Like, okay, it was an accident. It should have been like kind of stopped, you know. But man, like, we're not in a what sport? We're not in playing softball. We're not playing like some non-contact sport. You're gonna get hurt. You're gonna get elbowed. You're gonna if two guys go in swinging hard overhands, they're bound to headbutt each other.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
that's
And
for
it
sure.
happens. Yeah, and it happens. You know. Maybe it should have been pulled up by a referee or whatever. But like I said, that's part of the sport that we're in, and I don't think it's one to really complain about there.
How about you, Nick? Do you think unintentional headbutts should be stopped by a referee? Nick?
Well, I believe that if an unintentional headbutt happens and the damage is significant enough, I believe they should do it the same way like how groin shots happen. They give some time for the fighters to recover. I think that's the best way. But at the same time, it's always really hard to identify what is significant in terms of a headbutt because sometimes headbutts comes at really weird angles or during the exchange. So sometimes the referee has to be really astute towards identifying these kind of problems. But yet again, these words are gonna be in vain because these kind of things rarely happen. Not to say it rarely happens. It doesn't happen significantly enough to affect the outcome of the fight at times. And basically, these kind of things, as much as we want to say, oh, we should do this, we should do that, when it's inside the fight, it's entirely up to the referee's
Discussion.
eye for observation and attention to actually keep the fighters safe. At the end of the day, the referee is there not just to make sure that the fight is fair, they follow the rules, but also to make sure that the fighters are safe. So it's a very muddled up it's a very muddled up topic to be discussing because there are many factors to it. But I believe that's the best case scenario. Like if a headbutt happens, warn the fighter, give the affected fighter that got the headbutt time to recover, and issue a warning to the fighter and continue on with the fight. If it happens again, deduct a point and continues again, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I like that point that you brought up with groin shots, and I think it should be the same with eye pokes as well. Headbutts, I feel, should be seen the same as this kind of unintentional shots where fighters get a chance to recover and so on and so forth. Suma, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you guys there. You know, if it happens and the referee pulls up on it, then it should be one of those things that let's give the fighter some time to recover, intentional or not intentional, you know. Um, but headbutting is probably one of my favorite techniques in MMA. Um, I believe that you're allowed one shit go per round. So you're allowed one groin strike, one grab at the shorts per round. You know, whatever it
That's a
is.
shitty way of looking at it, man.
Yeah, man. It's like as much as it is, if I'm gassed, I'm kicking you in the nuts. So
Such a cock.
that's what,
What
but like
the
let me tell you so, like when I'm sparring, a lot of times when I start throwing like hard overhands and things like that in hard sparring, I sometimes may headbutt my opponent, not on purpose, but it happens, and we kind of know to just keep going, you know. Um, but is a headbutt just classified to the head of an opponent? Or if I'm, say, ground and pounding someone and I headbutt someone's sternum, is that headbutting or is that allowed?
That's
Ah.
not allowed. Headbutting in general is not allowed because,
Well,
well, the reason why we don't headbutt is one is really easy because our skulls are like so fucking hard, so much surface area. One time you just headbutt a guy straight in the nose, and the guy's nose is gonna be broken. And
yeah, but like I'm talking
I
about
don't know.
headbutting from like the shoulder. If that's like saying if someone throws a punch, can I headbutt his fist? Of course, you can. A lot of fighters do that, right? But so if I'm sitting in someone's guard, I'm controlling, I'm going body, body, head, and then I just drop one headbutt to his sternum. I think that should be allowed, right? Because I think that the same way I can headbutt someone's elbow or headbutt someone's knee, or he's allowed to. Is someone allowed to press like to drop? You know when someone's got mount on you, and you're holding like double unders, you're holding their body, and like GSP lifts himself up and drops his chest onto your face,
Yep.
right? The
Yeah.
same way, why can't we use our head to hit them in the chest? Now, I've gotten in trouble for this a few times in MMA in Australia because I always ask the referee beforehand. I'm like, oh, how do you feel about head control? And they're like, yeah, head control's fine. I'm like, what if I was head controlling someone's body? And they're like, yeah, why? I'm like, what if I strike with my head to the body? They're like, you're not allowed to strike with your head. I'm like, and then I explain it, and they just kind of look at me real dumbfounded. And they're just like, oh, mate, that's not going to happen anyway. And then I do it in a fight, and no one really says anything. So I just keep going. I may have done it once in my Rebel fight, and no one noticed.
I didn't notice when I was ringside for that fight.
Hey, Rob Lacita noticed. As soon as I walked into the back, he was like, you sick cunt, I saw you headbutt his sternum. I was like, yeah, I did.
I got,
You know where I learned that from? John Jones.
yeah,
I saw John Jones in his fight with Shogun. He was headbutting. He was coming to pass, and he headbutts his sternum. And then Joe Rogan's like, "Was that a headbutt to the sternum?" And he's like, "I think it." The other guy was like, "Yeah, I think it was." And he's like, "I'm not sure if that's legal or illegal." So hey, if there's no rule on it, do it.
yeah, as much as John Jones is one of the most dominant fighters in the world, he is the most dirtiest fighter I've seen in the UFC.
Hey, there's nothing dirty
Who
about
is
his
that?
elbows.
Who is this?
Huh?
John Jones.
John Jones.
John Jones?
Yep.
Oh yeah. I don't know. There's just it's not dirty in a sense. It's just I don't know.
Smart.
It's just it exploit. He fights in a very exploitive kind of way. You know,
Yeah, the
like
the finger following the eyes of his opponent.
yeah.
Yeah, you guys know that. I feel that's a
Yeah.
dirty way of fighting.
Well, they
I
actually
mean,
eliminated that from
here's the thing. Like I don't know about Suman.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's
Yeah.
the line's getting a bit crazy. Personally, I've always thought that like this is in relation to fighting, dirty tactics, and so on and so forth. You see, I don't know about Suman. I don't know about many fighters out there, but as fighters, we're trained to exploit the weaknesses of our fellow combatant, right? And let's say, like, I give you an example. Like Carlos Condit's example is the greatest one, right? After the takedown, Tyron Woodley identified that Carlos Condit had a problem with his leg, and he immediately attacked it. To some, they consider it dirty. I mean, some fighters will consider it like dirty, but that's just the nature of the sport. In terms of the headbutts, like I said, the reason why John Jones maybe headbutting the body was overlooked was maybe because it didn't do any significant damage. It's different. Like if Suman was in guard and he just decides to headbutt the shit out of his opponent in the face, it's going to be significant and it will change the outcome of the fight.
Yeah. That's
So I don't know. It's I don't know. Headbutts. I've been headbutted a few times when I worked as a bouncer. It's not a really nice feeling. It's not a nice feeling at all being headbutted like square in the nose. Uh, it's definitely different than getting punched, and I believe headbutting is intentional or not intentional. I think it's just a cheeky, dirty thing to do, whether it happens on purpose or not. Yeah, I know.
I
The
do it on
body, I don't think that
purpose.
that's brought you dirty wanker. uh, I don't think headbutting to the body would do any significant damage to the point where the person's going to open his guard and so on and so forth. But
Oh,
yeah,
trust
maybe
me.
that's why.
Do something tomorrow if you're rolling with someone, just like lightly. I'm telling you, because I think it does make a big difference. Lightly headbutt a few times with the side of your head, someone's sternum, and look how much of a reaction you'll get out of them. It's something that one of the guys in our gym just started doing to me, and it was fucking annoying. It was so annoying. Like, and we were like going when I'm sparring or anything, I'm not the type of person to flinch much when people do things. I'm good with pain. I can take a good beating. But when he was doing it, it was fucking annoying as shit to me. And after a while, it does start to hurt. Especially because, like you said, your skull is a very hard part of your head. So you keep doing that to someone's sternum when you're raining down the ground and pound. Eventually, it's gonna start hurting them.
Yeah, talking about that, I was thinking that
Okay, that I think that.
Nick, I was thinking that since someone was talking about headbutts to the body, isn't it possible to disguise a headbutt to the body by shooting for a takedown?
Oh yeah,
Yes, it
same thing.
is.
Right.
I
So
know a lot of fighters. I know a lot
Yeah.
of fighters who, when they shoot, instead of putting their head on the inside or the outside, drive head forward, which I don't agree with. I don't like. I think it's
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
not. I think it's a dangerous technique. But I know a lot of fighters who use it when they shoot. They use their head as like a striking point, and then they take the legs out. So yeah.
how about you, Nick? What's your thoughts on that? Because
uh,
I know wrestling uses a lot of head movements, but never uses the head as a way to strike an opponent's body or chest.
well, as we've said before, MMA, MMA is the fastest growing sport in the world. It's also one of the youngest sports of all time, and I believe that there's just so many aspects towards the MMA game that needs to be reviewed, like shots to the back of the head, what is defined as an early stoppage, what is defined as a late stoppage. There's just so many things, and with context to this, with con with the context of having a person shoot in and use his head as a driving force to take you down, that all is part of the wrestling part. Like I know Benson Henderson. It's one of his go-to moves. He will literally use like a rugby wrestling tackle and use his head as kind of like his shoulder to drive it into the sternum of his opponent to take him down. As I said, as Suman says, yes, I see the danger in this technique, but as long as it doesn't cause any significant damage to either the person performing it or the person that is receiving such action, then I don't see a point. I don't see anytime soon that we're gonna have the Nevada State Athletic Commission start to go over these things and all that. I believe that it only takes a certain catalyst, like let's say like someone headbutts somebody and he loses, or maybe this guy gets a shot taken down, and because his head is in the middle, his ribs broke or something like that. Then only there'll be a review of the rules. But as far as what's currently going on, it is what it is. It's they're still trying to find they're still trying to evolve the sport as much as they can, and they're trying to make the battlefield that that all fighters fight in, as fair as possible. So yeah,
All right,
that's
man.
what I think about it.
Uh, that have been an interesting conversation. I tell you what, whatever has been said just now will be written on article format. I will go and research a bit more about headbutting in MMA, and we'll move on to more referee decision. Suman, Mirbek Taisumov, fans grabbing. Mario Yamasaki, 1 point deducted for almost every round. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's justified. He never stopped doing it. Like, have we ever like I don't know. I can't remember the last time I've seen a disqualification for fence grabbing, but I think that Mirbek came pretty close to it. But I think he was doing it more out of frustration because he was getting dominated so bad. You know, in the stand up, yeah, he was doing okay, but um, man, work on your wrestle. He's got two great coaches in Roger Huerta and Brian Ebersol, and I know that a big part of their game is obviously wrestling. I've trained at Tiger Muay Thai. I know that they do a lot of wrestling, and I know that Merbek is a beast too. I just think that he got outclassed in the wrestle and the grapple. Yeah, I think that was out of frustration. The points getting deducted, and I think he was very, very close to getting disqualified. I thought at the end he might, but I think that Mari Yamasaki saw this like a minute or 2 minutes to go, and he was just like, fuck it, just let him go on.
Like what's fun? There was one funny point in the fight. I think it was in round two. He was getting taken down. Okay, Nick is out. He was getting taken down. Then instinctively he grabbed onto the fence, and straight away he took it off his hand. He gave that innocent look to Mario Yamasaki. Like, no, 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 I didn't did it. I didn't grab the fence. And Mario Yamasaki just took a point off him.
Man, like I don't know, like I've got a cage in my gym, right?
Uh huh.
I've got a full size octagon. I've got a 32-foot octagon in my gym, right? And we train in there a lot. I don't think I've ever uh, grabbed the cage. I'm too scared about getting one of my fingers broken. You know, whenever we're grappling in the cage, we set a reminder to all the boys that do it, don't do it, and we've always got like stupid little punishments if someone grabs onto the cage. Just as a reminder, one thing I don't like is deducted points. I think it's something so stupid. Like when a guy loses points for something silly, and I think it's silly, especially after being reminded so many times. Like it's not something we practice over and over in training to grab onto the fence. I think always we remind each other not to grab onto the fence. So I don't know like what was really going on there, but I think it was just out of frustration that he kept doing it. And like I said, you're allowed to do it once per round, but I guess Mario Yamasaki was like, "Fuck you, point off."
Nah, I think it would be a bit a different scenario if let's say we put a situation with a seasoned wrestler, because when a seasoned wrestler gets shot, he would sprawl. But
Yeah,
for guys who are not very comfortable in the wrestling game, when they get taken down, they usually will put their hands back to support, isn't it?
yeah, man.
Whether
Like,
there's a cage behind or not, they will like fling their arms back to
man,
support the
I
fall.
don't know about anyone else, but when someone's shooting on me, I'm never looking to put my hands back. I don't want to get my arm broke. If I put my hands back and I get taken down, I'm gonna snap my elbow or something. My first intention is to try and get an underhook and sprawl. So I don't know. I don't know where that comes from.
No, I think it's an instinctive human natural behavior for those who are
Well,
inexperienced in the wrestling game. Nick, during your event on Ultimate Beatdown, Alex the Blur was being taken down and he put his hand back. And what Suman said is true. He
yeah,
dislocated his shoulder right on the spot. I don't know if you saw that on your
yeah, I
event as
did.
well, right? Isn't it, Nick?
Yeah, yeah, I saw it.
Man, I've seen it heaps of times, and that is an experience. Like you'll see judo guys when they get thrown, they just roll out of things, and wrestlers as well. A seasoned wrestler knows not to break fall with his hand sticking towards the ground. If we're getting taken down, it's either sprawl, get an underhook, or if we're flying through the air, the best way to break your fall is not to put your hand down and stop your face from hitting the floor. Or something like it's not a very smart thing, and I think that he needs to get tossed around a bit and learn how to drop. You need to learn how to. I swear, learning how to hit the ground is just as important as taking someone down. I teach I
Oh
teach
yeah,
kids I teach kids jujitsu, and the first lesson when they come in, the first thing I teach them is how to break fall. Just so and I get them to all like tumble around, do their forward rolls and everything. Why? Just so they get used to the motion of rolling, hitting the floor, and breaking their fall. And I think that that's a very important thing. So you don't wind yourself, break your neck, break a rib, injure your spine, and break your arms, dislocate your elbows, dislocate your shoulders. It's a very important part of the thing, and that's why How often have you seen a wrestler stick his arm out when he's getting taken down and snap his arm off in an MMA fight? Not very often.
Nah, I don't see that. But in amateur, there's a lot. I think this have to be worked upon, especially in the Malaysian and the Singaporean region. Those who just got into the MMA with just Muay Thai fights or boxers or just basic strikers who have no ground game. When they get taken down, that's what they do. They will fling their arms back.
Well, with respects to all these Muay Thai fighters, to all these boxers, wrestlers, jiu-jitsu guys, um, this is only something training can fix. Falling down, flinging your arms back is entirely instinctive. Like, I give you a good example, yeah? Every time I'm against the cage, I always tell myself, okay, I'm not gonna get taken down. And as soon as I'm about to get taken down, immediately, instinctively, without me even knowing, I hold on to the cage. It's just something that's just in our human nature. It's like our flight or fight kind of response to any situation that threatens us. When a situation threatens us, a stimuli threatens us, we immediately come up with this unconscious decision: do we fight or do we run?
Yep.
The same thing. It's only training. It took me a long time to actually how to say, get to a certain point in my career. And I agree with what you're saying, Hazwadi, that these guys, these Muay Thai fighters, these boxers, these Sanda guys who have never rolled in their life should be educated. But at the same time, we can't actually bring the books to them. If you want to learn, you have to go to school and you got to learn and you got to put in the hard work to get good grades. The same thing applies here. If you don't want to get your arms broken, learn how to protect yourself against a takedown.
Yeah.
It's I've learned a long time ago that MMA fighters now, the new generation of MMA fighters now, aren't masters of like. We've got guys who are jiu-jitsu black belts, guys with 20 Muay Thai fights, crazy level and all that. But when they fight MMA, they get smacked around by guys with lower striking or shittier wrestling just because they know how to put it together. So, like I said, with respects to being taken down and so on and so forth, that has got to do with the training. Nothing else plays a part of it more than training.
There's some instincts in us that like just won't ever go away. Like it is hard to get out. Like every time I get knee righted in class, I just tend to fart. You know. It's just-
I have that problem too. Fucking shit, I have that problem.
If you want to knee ride me, just know that I'm probably gonna fart on your leg. Hey, do it at your own risk. Nah, but like in saying that, like we do, a lot of old habits are hard to get rid of. And I think that that's one of the things that I try and tell my guys from the start. And even though I'm not, I've got my kickboxing coach is a K1 kickboxing champion who fought in the K1. My jiu-jitsu coach is a two-time world champion in jiu-jitsu, is black belt. I've got all these guys, but I overlook all of them. And when it comes to an MMA fight, I'm kind of like one of the head coaches as an MMA fight, not because I know anything more than anyone, just because I know what to say to my guys in the corner, and I know an overall idea on MMA. Now, when I'm doing all that and we're doing an MMA class, the first thing I try and get out of my guys is bad habits. Every time I see a bad habit, like guys dropping their hands, things and that, I think that it's good to make them pay for it here in training than in the fight. So I think for Mirbek, he needs to get put in a cage, get put against the cage, get taken down 100 times, and not grab the fence. You know, you need to get
Oh
rid of
yeah.
those habits because I'm telling you, they don't go away overnight. It's not one of those things that Mirbeck can look back on the video and say, "Fuck, man, I can't believe I kept getting those points taken off of me grabbing onto the fence." You know what? I'm not gonna do it anymore. No, it's not gonna work like that. You need to get your time on the mat. You need to practice it. And I think he learned the hard way that as well. And he's a good fighter. He'll come back stronger.
Yeah, talking about that training and learning, I tell you a great way to learn more about MMA. Monday Night Mayhem. Seriously,
Yeah.
I've learned so much with you, and when Brett was on the show and Frank is on the show, and now we have Nick, who I think will be a permanent installment on the show. I learned so much on Monday Night Mayhem. Every Monday night, I so look forward to this just to talk about the techniques that happen in UFC.
Yeah, man. I love it.
All right. Next up, Steven Seiler, Ronnie Yazen, Suman.
Man, like this is one of those fights that I was looking back and I was so excited for this fight. You know, other than all the other fight, like I was saying, I was looking forward to Diego Brandao with Chope.
Uh-huh.
This is a fucking cool. This is a cool fight for me. Honey Jason's a beast. You know, just like I said, he's one of those Brazilians that just fucking wants to swing hard, has good jiu-jitsu, he's just all round real good. And Steven Seiler it seems to be the guy that no one ever really takes serious, but man, this kid's legit. This kid, I think, is fucking. I love watching him grapple and everything. I think Steven Seiler is one of the more exciting grapplers to watch. For me, I know that for his first like 10 fights or something, he didn't even train. He just like kind of jumped in there and had a lot. That's why he had most of his losses earlier in his career. And Honey Jason just fucking walked through him, landed a big right hand, a big left hook, and fucking put him down. And I know that Steven Seiler was contesting the the finish, but man, he got dropped.
Yeah,
And
he was hurt, dude. He was really
yeah,
hurt. Yep.
he got dropped. And even though some people on Facebook were writing, oh, he was trying to upkick back, man, he was trying to upkick the referee back. He, uh, he was out, and I think that's a justified finish. I think awesome job by Honey Jason. I love when he walks out with that fucking mask and shit. And he's the man.
Yeah. Next up, CB Dollaway.
CB
Suman.
Dollaway. Oh man, Cesar Ferrer. Now this is one of those fights. It lasted 39 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Now we sat down. My brother walked in, I think, the fight before that, and or we were watching that, and my brother's one of those guys that he doesn't know all the UFC roster. He just knows like the mainstream guys. He doesn't like to really watch any other guys. He just likes to fight, you know. So he's not too into the UFC scene or the ONE FC scene, and I always have to update him on guys. And then he's like, "Oh, who the hell's this guy?" You know, and I'm like, "Man, Cesar Ferrer's a machine." Vitor Belfort said that he could one day be the middleweight champ. All this shit. I said this as soon as the bell rang. It took me about 35 seconds to say it. 4 seconds later, he got knocked out. Right? And I just shut up. I just went quiet. And then my brother's like, yeah, future champ, huh? And I just felt dumb. I just felt like, man, why the fuck did I open my mouth again? You know, every time I say this about someone, like someone's real good or some shit, it seems like I get embarrassed, you know. And I'm meant to know, I'm meant to be the TV, not the TV, the cyber host. You know, I'm a host for a show. You know, I help you out with this thing. So I'm meant to know a lot about these guys, and I'm meant to have all the inside tips. Every time I tip someone, they just seem to fucking backfire on me. You know? So, if anyone wants to know who's going to win, anyone who I don't pick. You know, I just get embarrassed in front of my brother again. But, man, fuck, CB, fuck it. I think the problem with Cesar, he came in too wild, too strong, and he looked really slow. When he was swinging left to right, he was swinging those big hooks. It was so telegraphed, and CB just kind of sat back with his shoulder up, chin down, and waited for that one shot, and he fucking clipped him and got him. Well done to CB Dollaway. He has an ugly forehead, and he looks like he looks like a hammerhead shark or something. He looks ugly as fuck. But he won the fight and good on him. You know, I think he won the fight with Boach as well. Him saying he's top 10, nah, probably not. But good on him. You know, well done.
All right, talking about bad picks, both you guys picked Shogun to win the fight.
Fuck you, Shogun won that fight.
Okay, Nick.
Ah, fuck.
Talk to me about that fight. Okay, I'm
Oh
sharing.
man.
Wait, before that, I'm sharing this picture of Dan Henderson. I think Suman, you can see the picture on my screen right now.
Nah, I can't. Sorry, my fucking thing's fucked.
All right, hold on. I'll try to. Yeah.
Just tell me what image it is, and I'll probably know.
It's Hendo actually punching through Shogun's chest. Now
Oh, is this when they're against the cage?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I know which photo it is.
that's some crazy shit, man.
Man.
It's like his skin just
Oh my
like
God.
I don't know how to describe that. Nick, come on.
That photo is all over Instagram, by the way.
Okay, Nick, come on, talk to me about that fight. Nick.
Next out.
Well,
Uh-huh.
I love Shogun. I really do, and he's the shit. And I was a bit sad to see that Shogun was winning the first few rounds.
Uh-huh.
And then suddenly in the third round, there was a homing missile named the Henderson H bomb that just put him to sleep. Oh man, I don't know. It's fucking Dan Henderson, man. You can't count him out because he's an old guy, man. There's just a cement truck on his right hand, and fuck Dan Henderson. That's all I've gotta say. I mean, I love Dan Henderson. I mean, I love Shogun. I love both of them as fighters, but I really wanted Shogun to win this time. Yeah.
And Shogun nearly got the win in the first round, Suman.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
He was landing some bombs on him, and it was like it was real. It was real. What is it? Kind of calculated from Shogun. You know, he looked a bit flat-footed, but at the same time, he was stalking. He was stalking and was waiting for the right moment to pick his shots. You know, and he landed some big hits. I know at one stage he landed that big uppercut flush on Henderson's chin, and that's when I thought it was all over, and then I was wrong, and I was a bit heartbroken. Who made MMA fights 3 rounds? I thought they ended 2. I thought we were meant to have a 2-round main event or some shit. You know, like just like Nick said, I really wanted Shogun to win this fight as well. When I first got into MMA, whatever I watched, I used to download some shit illegally. You know, I used to download The Ultimate Fighter, the first and second season illegally on the net. Hopefully Dana White doesn't sue me for that, dick. But you know, I used to do that, and then I don't know how. I don't know how. You know what? Actually, come to think of it, I was watching Kimbo Slice fighting people in the backyard. And I don't know how I came across a highlight of this guy. And I was like, who the hell is this guy? So I clicked onto it, and I see this young Brazilian dude with these cool bicep tattoos and a shin tattoo, and he was flying through the air and stomping on people's faces and in Pride, and I thought, who the fuck? This guy is the man. I remember telling all my friends when they would come over to my house, man, come look at this highlight video, man. The first ever highlight video that I downloaded and saved onto my computer, which I watched every single night religiously. Like, I would just sit there and put it on repeat. Every person who would come over to my house, whether it was like my brother's friends or my friends or someone, I'd be like, watch this guy, man. And it was Shogun, you know. And he more than anyone in MMA, man, Shogun is my idol. You know, he still is, you know, watching back on Pride and everything. And it's really, 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 again, heartbreaking to see something like that. Man, Shogun's the man. So young, and he walked into Pride and just fucking annihilated everyone. And like, when he lost to Coleman, when he dropped and broke his arm, I was going to fly to Japan and fuck Coleman up myself. You know, I was going to shoot him in the leg or something. I don't know. I was going crazy. But, man, Shogun's shit. His legend will live on. It isn't the end of Shogun. I know we're gonna see him back, and I think maybe a drop to 185 would be all right.
Yeah. When was the last time
Yeah,
we see him in more than
Shogun dropping to 185 would be a good idea.
Man, like these guys at 205, like Henderson's probably not the best example because he can drop to 185 as well.
Yep.
But Shogun can drop to 185. We see him; he's always a bit flabby and things like that, and he is a powerful guy. But I think he's just a bit undersized at 205, and I think that he could really like as much as he can put people to sleep in 205. I would love to see him like give 185 a run. I think that his time in 205 is finished. Really, I don't really see him making a run for the title at 205 ever again. Um, but I think that if he dropped to 185, he could be in the top five of that division if he wanted to. He's one of those guys that needs to stay motivated, and I think he needs to go on a bit of a new path. He's not. How old is he? Like 29, 30?
Yeah. Around there.
30, 31.
Oh, 31. He's still got a few years left in him. I think he could still have another 4 years of solid fighting into him if he doesn't keep getting knocked out. But yeah, I'd like to see him start a new chapter in his MMA career and make just like James Tahuna. James Tahuna realized his chin can't hold up at 205, so maybe Shogun needs to drop to 185 too.
No, maybe that's true. But one thing that you can't count out is Dan Henderson's chin. I remember that fight Dan had with Vitor Belfort. He got left. If I'm not wrong, it was a left hand, and he was flying vertically upwards, went down, got back up, got a leg kick to the face, and actually he was actually holding on to Belfort's feet. And this time round, when Shogun hit him with that shot, I was like, okay, this guy is 43. He have been hit on the head so many times. I don't think he could survive that, and he did. This guy is crazy, man. Then
That's
Henderson is.
that's not a chin. That has nothing to do with your chin. I think that has to do
That's
with your heart.
experience. Experience
Experience.
and heart.
You
That's for
know,
sure.
see, being able to keep calm under pressure is something that a lot of fighters don't really know how to deal with. When someone is rushing them, how to deal with it or anything like that. Now, getting dropped is something that not many people know how to deal with. So they just kind of blank out, and next thing they know, the referee's sitting next to them saying, "It's all right, buddy." But as well, like Nick just said, it's experience. Experience, and the thing that keeps pushing someone on to get back up is your heart.
Yeah, the thing. Okay, another thing I would like to talk about this one-dimensional game of Dan Henderson. His right hand. Everybody knows about his right hand. So if someone is as good as Machida actually actually evaded his right hand for almost all 3 rounds. But I don't like to see Dan Henderson with just his right hand. I don't want to see just H bomb. I want to see the Olympian Dan Henderson who was going for the takedown, and that takedown in the second round was so disappointing. I was thinking that, rather than just stand, why don't go for the clinch and did whatever he did there. He goes for the clinch, kind of distract the left hand of Shogun from protecting his face, and hit that right hand. Nick, what do you think about the game of Dan Henderson?
That Dan, game plan wise, how he came back from that first round near finish, I think it's crazy. Dan did what Dan did. He's an Olympic level Greco-Roman wrestler. He has power, and he just decided to clinch. And when the time came, boom, fist to chin, and it's actually the thing is a really good coach. I think this is one of my old coaches used to say to me. A really good coach will not tell you to control everything in a fight, right? There are just some things in a fight that you can't control. The thing about coaches now is that they don't pressure you much on winning and not losing. they pressure you more on controlling the outcome of the fight to add to the probability of winning. And the probability of winning, or of Hendo winning, will be higher if he uses his clinch, and when the separation comes, he decides to throw in his power.
Precisely.
And the game plan, I believe that I think it did lack a little bit because maybe Hendo is showing some miles. Maybe Hendo is showing a lot of miles due to his age. Maybe he's not as sharp as before, not as fast as before, not as athletic as before. But the thing is, there's one thing that will always stay true to Hendo and his H bomb, man. It doesn't matter how old he is. Once that fist connects with your chin, you go to sleep. And game plan or not, it's all about adapting towards the situation. Maybe the game plan was just to keep Shogun on the ground and pound him for 5 rounds, and unexpectedly he knocked him out. It happens, it happens. Things happen on the fly, so I don't know. I'm not the guy fighting inside, so I wouldn't know what's going on.
I call it tunnel vision. I think that when a fighter knocks someone out in a particular way, sometimes I think that they just kind of look towards the same thing. And we heard that
I
something that I said to my guys as well. It was in between the second and third round, they were saying, man, when Shogun throws that jab out, I want you to throw that big right hand over the top of it. And they were saying that, and that's kind of where a lot of Hendo's knockouts have been coming from, that big right hand. And I think even his coaches were kind of pushing him towards that. I think that their game plan was land your right hand. I think it kind of needs to expand a bit more than that. We got to remember one thing. Dan Henderson was a Greco guy. Now Greco guys can't shoot for shit. Greco guys are all upper body. You try and play a clinch game. You try and play a cage game. Like you try and work off the cage with them. Man, their upper body strength is fucking unreal. And it would be cool to see Henderson use that. But shooting isn't his game, and I think that's why we kind of saw the lazy shot.
So right now, what's next? Can Hendo pull over Randy Couture?
No.
no, nope.
If he that's like put him in against Alexander Gustafsson and watch what the fuck Alexander does to him. Alex will walk through him. Like I said, he can still be relevant, but he's not going to be in a title picture.
All right, we'll see if Dan Henderson will surprise us again. I was surprised by that, dude.
I love Henderson. Henderson's cool. He's looks like a real cool guy. I liked watching him on Tough. Just seems like a nice, laid back guy. Someone I'd like to really work with. My type of dude. But there's only one Randy Couture. He can't do it again. Can't do it.
All right. Somebody tweeted.
Well,
Okay, Nick, your opinion.
it's pretty simple actually. Hendo is at the same point in his career as Liddell and Randy was before they retired. Liddell went on to fight Franklin, got knocked out and retired, correct?
Yep.
Was it that fight with Franklin?
Yeah,
That was the fight.
And Lyoto Machida fought against Couture, and well, look what happened to Couture. Now Hendo can do the smart thing, retire on a win, and that's it. No, no bad taste in your mouth when you leave. You won your last fight. You've got nothing else to prove. You were a champion in pride. You've done so many, and I think it's the best thing for. I think it's the best thing for Hendo to actually step down right now. Considering his age and whatnot. But we can never know. He might be the first UFC champion at the age of 50. You never know.
He got three more fights left with the UFC.
he just signed a new contract.
Yeah, he just signed that fight with Shogun was a signing of a 4-fight contract.
Bad choice by the UFC.
Oh, man.
No, I don't think it's a
Very bad
choice.
choice.
Because the thing is, Hendo can pull in crowds in America. If you just put him in
Yeah,
the States, yep.
So can Patrick
Yeah, I mean
Cummins.
Hendo of course. Hendo of course can pull in the crowds, yeah, but don't get me wrong, Shogun is Shogun, but you know how Shogun looked these past few years. Shogun is a shadow of his former self. Put Hendo against the younger guns and all that, and Hendo might get torn up. I don't know. I'm thinking more along the lines of Hendo's safety more than anything else.
I don't know. I wish he. I want to see another fighter like Randy, man. I miss that guy. That guy is like the Rocky of MMA. So I feel that if Hendo could do the same, why not? It will make a good story. Nobody agree with me on
Uh,
this.
Eh,
I mean, it depends. It seriously depends on how the UFC is gonna play it. You know, is it gonna be like an old lion coming back for redemption, or is it gonna be like Chuck Liddell? He gets hacked and he gets smacked, he gets knocked down, and as fans, we're just worried about his well-being. So I don't know. You know, I don't know because the casual MMA fan doesn't look at MMA fighters as human beings. They look at us as what we are, fighters. They don't understand that we are people with real problems, real emotions, and real physical wear and tear. So I don't know.
Okay.
That's
Let's
how
say
I see it anyway.
okay. It's kind of inevitable that Hendo is going to fight in the next few months. So
who does he fight?
yeah, who does he fight? Okay, I'm looking at the light heavyweight rankings right now. From number 10 onwards, it's Ryan Bader, Chael Sonnen,
Uh,
Dan Henderson, Shogun, Bill Nock,
I want
Daniel
to.
Cormier, Phil Davis, Rashad Evans.
Chael Sonnen.
Chael Sonnen, Hendo?
Hmm,
Chael Sonnen. Listen,
Chael, definitely Chael. I would like to see.
Chael Sonnen beats Hendo all day, every day. Hey, sorry to say, but I think that he beats. He doesn't get caught with those big hits. I think he'll be able to take Hendo down, dominate him. Ryan Bader, I don't want to see fight
Hendo?
Hendo right now. I don't know. Like I think Ryan Bader will probably play stupid and get knocked out by Hendo just because he's gonna stand up with him and he's gonna bitch chin on him. So I don't know. Like I'd like to see a fight with Chael.
How about you, Nick? Chael? How about Cormier Henderson, two Olympians?
Well,
Another Olympic story.
Nah, too far apart. Too far apart.
that's gonna be interesting to watch. Call me and
Yeah.
Henderson.
Yeah, because Cormier is just who
I
do
mean,
you
yeah, you
really
can add
want?
an Olympic story to it. It's going to be good. And I don't know, Cormier and Hendo. Wow.
Right, it will be an interesting fight, I feel. All right, let's
I
I
not
said
think it
bring
will be an
Fedor back.
interesting fight. Story
Fedor
wise, a lot of
versus Hendo again.
Fedor.
Fedor and Hendo too.
You mean Fedor? Oh, okay. I don't know whether he will fight in light heavyweight, but
Listen,
yeah,
I don't care what weight Fedor fights at. I will pay. I'll pay. You know how we pay like I don't know. We pay like $60 for a pay per view here. I will pay
wow.
a good like yeah. It's expensive for us here in Australia. You know, I'll fucking pay like $200-300 to watch him fight, just out of my living room. If I got to see him fight in person, I'd give a good 500-600 for that. Just to shake the guy's hand and so he can just stare at me and not hit me. I'd give him $1,000. You know, he's one guy that I would have loved to see in the UFC.
Yeah, but
And I think Henderson and him at heavyweight. I don't care what weight it's at. Just number 2. I'd like to see it again.
Fedor Hendo too.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. Okay, let's
oh
not
yeah, that's your Fedor Hendo too.
let's stop talking about UFC for a moment. Metamoris 3, Nick Harris. Are you excited for that? It's coming on this week.
Nick.
Nick.
Yeah. Sorry,
Metamoris 3.
the line was going.
All right,
I'm sorry.
Metamoris 3 this week. Are you excited for that?
Oh yeah, of course, man. Fucking Dean Lister, Eddie Bravo, Jesus, Eddie Bravo versus Gracie. I'm really looking forward to Lister against Babalu.
Okay, Lister Babalu, who's gonna win that fight? Is Lister gonna get his trademark full up?
Nah,
I hope
I
so.
think
I really hope so.
I think it'll be a draw.
But
I think I think they're both going to be going for a lot of submissions and getting out of a lot of submissions. I don't think that one's going to be a winner. But hey, I like Babalu. He's a tatted up Brazilian that don't give a fuck. And
oh
and
yeah,
List is
that's
the man. And List is the man too. You know, he's cool. And his submission defense is something that's unreal. I don't think that Babalu has the shit to submit him. I think that Lista has a better chance of submitting Babalu, but it'll still be entertaining. Hey, what about Vinny and Keenan Cornelius? I think that's my highlight. Apart
oh
from Eddie Bravo and
that's gonna
Hoyland,
be yeah,
I
that's
think
gonna be
that's gonna be
crazy.
cool. I think that's even though Vinny's real young himself, I think that's new age jiu-jitsu versus like a bit of old jiu-jitsu. You know, a former world champion against the young gun, the young up and coming dude that seems to want to scissor lesbian everyone. You know? So let's see if his lesbian tactics work on Vinny, who I hope flying arm bars him like he did Chris Weidman.
Talking about that, I was talking to some of the jiu-jitsu guys the other day, and they were telling me that back then the Caesar lesbian was the shit.
And that ain't nothing.
No,
Alright.
because
Okay,
back then,
saying that though, I actually do it a lot in jiu-jitsu. As much as I'm giving him shit, like half of my game is De La Hiva and like 50-50 guards and things like that. I wish I was as good as him. I just like if I'm doing it, it's cool. If I'm watching someone else, don't do that shit.
how about you, Nick? Are you comfortable with your Caesar lesbian moves?
Uh, I'm not comfortable with anything to do with scissoring or lesbianing, my friend.
Hey,
uh,
that's the
my
beautiful
my 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 entire jiu-jitsu game is pretty simple. It's just okay. Take me down to the ground. I'll sweep you, and I'll get. I guess that's just the way I do it. I suppose. Uh,
So you don't work on your De La Hivas or your X or your 50-50?
I mean, I do. I do work on my Delarivas, my X guard, my Spider guards, and so on and so forth. But mentality wise, I always use my jiu-jitsu to just improve my position and escape. I'm not much of a submission guy. I'm more of an opportunity submission guy. That means that if the guy just turns or if the opportunity presents itself, oh, we've got a submission. But other than that, I won't actively go for submission. I'll actively ground and pound. So yeah, but I do appreciate the beautiful art of jiu-jitsu, and I really wish I could like do the stuff that the high level black belts do. You know, just like from one sweep, the guy counters the sweep, and then they change position and submission, and then that's another sweep. You know, it's crazy. It's so crazy. I've got long ways to go in terms of that, but I'm always happy to learn how to scissor the shit out of somebody else. So you know, why not?
And if I don't learn those techniques here, the young guys in our gym would beat my ass. You know, it's like it's a fight inside the gym for me. You know, as much as like I don't like to like go hard on anyone here. With everyone in the gym, I'm still competing. You know, I'm a very competitive person, and I don't like to lose. You know, so I always try and stay on top of my game and try and learn like all the techniques because I know that eventually I'm gonna have to use them or someone's gonna do them to me, so I'm gonna have to know my way out of it and shit like that. You know, so I like
Yeah.
I'm not big on some particular guys. I'm terrible at my X guard, even though I can do it. I'm not very good at it. I know a few sweeps from X guard. I'm more of a like spider guard guy from Gi. I like my De La Hiva. I like my Berimbolo. But
Spider God.
yeah, I love my spider. When I'm wearing a gi, spider guard's my shit. You know, most of my techniques come from a spider guard. But I know that they don't apply always to MMA, so I kind of know when to switch on and switch off. Jiu-jitsu and MMA are two completely different sports. So that's that's what's gonna be cool to see Vinny and Keenan. Keenan is pure jiu-jitsu now, and so
Yeah,
is Vinny.
Vinny's an
But
MMA
Vinny,
guy.
yeah, Vinny's. It was jiu-jitsu before, but see, for the last few years, he's been training at in an MMA gym. You know, he's been doing MMA drills. He's been wearing no gi. You know, he's been doing all these things. So how is he going to go against all these new techniques? Like, I want to know if Vinny can. I believe Vinny can still keep up. You know, because I feel that those high-level black belts won't give up that position, or won't not keep up with the new age stuff, you know. So I want to see how this all plays out. It will be really interesting to see the game plan coming into Metamoris. The same with Hoyler Gracie and Eddie Bravo. What is going to be the game plan, or how is Hoyler Gracie going to shut down Eddie's mission control and things like that? Like, what comes into play? Who pulls guard first? It's going to be super exciting. I can't fucking wait.
Yeah, the thing that is interesting about this is that, okay, Eddie has been working on the mission control and the rubber guard technique for so long, and Hoyler is in a place where it's just traditional jiu-jitsu. So I don't feel that he have partners that will come to him and roll with him and do the mission control on him and everything. So I feel Eddie does have an advantage over this fight. What do you think, Nick?
Well, like I said, Eddie, in terms of that mission control and stuff, it's all depends on the training. If the guys did their research accordingly, I'm pretty sure that they will adapt the training accordingly. But like I said, he's a different kind of it's a different kind of jiu-jitsu. It's not the usual kind of jiu-jitsu, and it's more about how to say creativity of attack, I suppose. I'm not sure. I'm not exactly a hardcore jiu-jitsu guy, so I'm not sure until I see the fight. Then I'll be able to actually, how to say, give more input. But other than that, I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, you watch the fight, man. I tell you, gonna keep you at the edge of your seat. But the thing is, not meaning to hating on the Gracies. Like, the Gracies brought jiu-jitsu to mainstream, and it's a good thing. Now everyone
Of
knows
course.
at least some basics of jiu-jitsu. But I always feel that the Gracies are just too proud of their own techniques and are not open-minded to new stuff that is coming on to jiu-jitsu, especially the 10 planet jiu-jitsu style of way, isn't it, Suman?
Nah, let me tell you something. The Gracies, as proud as they are, they're not dumb. Dumb is one thing that they're not. You know, I don't think that they would be that stupid to not do their research and kind of come up with a game plan to kind of stop Eddie's game. You know, they are the sneakiest motherfuckers in this world. You know,
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
more than anything, the Gracies, one thing they know how to do is make money. Now they're businessmen more than anything. They've turned jiu-jitsu mainstream, and they've turned jiu-jitsu a very, very, like, MMA gyms don't make money. They don't make $1 million unless you're fucking American Kickboxing Academy, and they've got all these fighters, and then they've got all these mainstream guys who know nothing about MMA wanting to do their beginners classes, things like that. They don't make money, but jiu-jitsu schools do. Now, guys that make that much money, right, and have employed all these techniques and said that their school is the best and blah, 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 will not want that reputation tainted. So I don't think that they would be stupid enough to not do their research and have a spy in there. I'm telling you, someone in 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu right now is giving up everything. Gracie Jiu-Jitsu is putting money on the table for this guy to give up all the information. Like, man, like I said, if money makes the world go round, and I think more than anything, this is business as much as it is anything else for the Gracies. I think 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu is new age Jiu-Jitsu, and it's taking away kind of from the old traditional Gracie way, and Gracies want to shut this down. They want everyone to come back to Gracie, and the anti-bullying and this and that and all the bullshit that they keep getting people in the doors with. They want to keep all that stuff there. So So they're not going to be stupid enough to not come in with a game plan and not do their research for this fight. This fight is possibly the biggest fight in the Gracie history. As big as it was for Hoist Gracie in UFC 1, this fight is huge for them. You know, it's on a world scale. There's been so much shit talk over the years. Time for that talk to end and for them to prove Gracie Jiu-Jitsu is the way for them to go.
All right. How about this pants thing? Eddie wearing pants, and Eddie can grab Royler's shorts, and Royler's can grab Eddie's pants. Where do you think that will go in the fight?
I think that's fucking stupid. I think, man. Firstly, how like tiny are Eddie Bravo's legs that he just doesn't want to show anyone? You know, does he have small calves or something? Like, I don't know. He's embarrassed about his legs because I always see him wearing the gi pants. Now, I think that if Hoyler is able to grab onto Eddie's gi pants, I think that's a huge advantage for Hoyler. You know, if I've got the ability to hold on to a grip of someone's, then they're in trouble. Oh, not in trouble, but like I've got a big ace up my sleeve on them, and if Eddie's not allowed to grab Hoyler's shorts, then like you're never allowed to. But I think it's silly. So I don't know. Like, so is Thing not allowed to wear shorts? Eddie Bravo?
Who's not allowed to wear shorts?
Is Eddie Bravo not allowed to wear shorts? Is
No,
that part of the
no,
contract?
no. The thing was, it was what I read on the story was that Hoyler asked Eddie whether what he's wearing, and Eddie said, "Oh, I'm gonna wear my pants," and then that was it. Then after that shit happens. So I don't think Eddie is gonna take off his pants since he have been rolling in gi pants, as you said, for a very long time. But wearing pants, let's put a situation whereby Hoyler is in Eddie's guard. So Hoyler can just grab his pants and just pass.
Pass.
Is it?
Yeah. That's like that. When you come into jiu-jitsu, the first thing you learn to do is how to open guard and pass using knee control, like holding onto the pants. I think it's a huge advantage for someone to wear pants. That's why guys say no gi is a lot more pure and there's less and it's harder because you have to get different grips, you know. So I think Hoyler is kind of like is playing a bit of a smart ass move by making wear the pants. So I don't know. I think it's silly. I think that's gonna ruin the match if something like that happens. I think for it to be fair, they both wear shorts or wear skins or something. Because if one person can wear pants and something happens and Hoyler wins, then Eddie's got some excuse. So this is why you won. Or excuses can be made. But if they both wear shorts, Hoyler can't say, but you didn't wear your gi pants. No one's gonna listen to that shit.
All right, I'm showing off a picture of Frank Barca in the States with Eddie Bravo right now. Nick, what the hell are you holding? A
Yo.
vibrator?
No, it's my phone, man. Yeah, that's my phone. I'm really popular with the ladies, so the ladies just keep harassing my sexy ass. So you know what it is.
Nick, the linguistic love machine Harris.
The linguistic love machine. Oh my god, I love it.
Yeah, talking about linguistic, dude, your vocab on tonight. My God, astute. There was some other crazy S words you just took out from the thesaurus. What are you on? Are you on something
Me?
tonight, Nick?
I'm not on anything, man. This is me. Like, this is me on a normal day. Don't be a dick about it, man.
Hey, stop being a hater.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Man, you know what?
Am I supposed
You should go work for Bleacher Report. You're gonna keep hating like this. Go to Bleacher Report.
Yeah, I mean, oh my god, Jesus Christ.
Okay, the Bleacher Report will be the last place I want to work with. Anyways, I'm gonna end the show here. I'm gonna do some shout outs this week. There will be an article coming out on how Bashir lost 6 kilos in 12 hours. So that will be a good move for those ladies who want to cut weight. I'm going to publish my Monarchy gym visit as well, and of course the article on headbutting will be out, and maybe I will be writing an article about Will Chope. Um, I want to start off the rumors. Nick, this big hype. I know the last show I talked to you about this rematch about Brett Robinson. Now, like everyone is like talking, oh, that's fight gonna happen in Singapore in May 30th. Talk to me about that.
Well, as I said to you before, so long as ONE FC, Mr. Kui or Mr. Hume doesn't come up to me and offers me a contract and say it's time to dance, then I'm not going to be dancing. What I can tell you, if I do get offered this fight, well, I'm not a man that thinks about revenge in terms of a fight, but against Brad Robinson, it's going to be revenge. It's going to be balls to the wall kind of fighting. I'm going to be in your face and I'm going to prove to you that my first fight against you of was more of my own mistake than you capitalizing on it, you know. So like I said, it's I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for the confirmation. Right now I'm just a lion waiting in the dark, waiting to just pounce. And more than anything, I hope Mr. Kui would really consider putting me on the undercard for ONE FC in Singapore because from a marketing point of view, it's going to be good because number one, Brad's a really well known face in Singapore. And number two, I'm one handsome, gangly ass motherfucker. I know the Singaporean ladies are gonna love me, you know. And the third is that a fight, there's nothing that drives a fighter to be more dangerous than revenge. I mean, yes, some people are gonna say, "Oh, you fight with revenge on your mind. Your mind is not gonna be clear." But I'm fighting with revenge on my mind, and my mind has never been clearer than anything else before. It's got me motivated. It's got me pushing myself harder than anything else in the world, and I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for just the contract to reach my gym for me to sign it and tell you want to see. Let's do this, baby.
No, you're gonna sign it with blood. Sign it with blood.
Oh yeah, no, bro. Like the blood of 1,000 virgins, man.
Man, like that's it. You know what? On what Nick's saying, man. There's only so much we can do. We present ourselves. We want to put our bodies on the line, and all you need to do is not just us. Put something in front of us, and man, like I said,
Exactly.
we're fighters. We want to do it, and Nick wants to do it, and I'm sure that Brad wants to do it. So fucking do it.
Yeah, I spoke with Brett the other day. He says he would love to take that fight again. Like I actually went on YouTube to watch that fight. I feel Brett was like out muscling you the whole fight, but the interesting thing is that there was one point of time you had Brett in a guillotine, and Brett was going through a Von Flu choke. What Brett told me that um, usually in his training sessions, he could finish a Von Flu in half guard, and he was in your half guard trying a Von Flu, and you know what he told me? That bastard, he didn't tap.
Who taps a Von
just,
Flu
just,
choke?
just,
He's
just,
trying to
just,
sleep.
Yeah, Nick.
just for the record, when he was putting on that fucking choke, man, like the world was like going darker and darker and darker, man. Oh my god, like I gotta tell you that Brad was beating the shit out of me, and I was like, fuck it, I can take this, I can take this, I can take this. And then he puts on the choke, and I'm like, okay, I can take this. I can take this. Wait, am I passing out? Why is the world getting dark? And then suddenly, one of my teammates screamed something, and I just like wake up and I just muscle out of it somehow. I don't know how the hell I did it, but yeah,
Nah,
yeah,
I,
I
I,
could
I
see
know
the
what you mean.
frustration.
I know what you mean. I've
Yeah,
been
I mean,
my
I could
last
see.
fight. I got put in a submission, and I think a lot of people thought I was gonna tap too. But hey, that's like you said. You know how to work your way out of submissions. You know how to how far you can push your threshold as well. and that's something that you've obviously practiced and put in the time on the mats to know how hard you can push your body and keep calm under pressure or something like that. So I'm pretty sure he's pissed
Oh
off
yeah.
about not getting that finish, and you're pissed off about not being able to have put in that but that extra bit to get you the win. You know what I mean? A rematch is on the card.
Yeah,
106,
rematches.
make it happen.
Yeah, and I can assure you one thing, Wadi, that when this rematch does happen, I'm going to be talking a lot of shit. I'm going to be talking a lot of smack, that's for sure. I'm going to be in your face. I don't think a lot of Singaporeans are going to like me, but I couldn't care less. I'm intending to play the villain this next fight, and
You're a bad
it's.
fucker.
I think
I'm not.
no,
You saying?
I think it's gonna be the same when Suman comes down back for Rebel 2 against Ashraf. You're gonna be the enemy, man.
Me?
Yeah.
Man, how can you hate me? I'm the fucking man. Man, let me tell you something. I encourage that role. That role's fine by me. Like I said, like anyone can say whatever they want about me. I hope that I get some booze when I go out because, like I said, I love Singapore. Like Singapore was an awesome crowd for me. Everyone was real nice. No one really wanted to punch the shit out of me at the after party. Everyone was real nice and things like that. But one thing I like is silencing a crowd. I don't like to hear roars of a crowd. I like to silence a crowd. You know. So if I can be the bad guy and pull off the win, even better. If I can be the bad guy, and if I lose, hey, everyone expects me to lose. I'll like the underdog role. I love the
Yeah.
underdog role. No one expects shit from me, and that's the same thing as Nick right now. He's going in there having lost the first fight and going in as the underdog. So there's no pressure on him. So he can talk all the smack he wants. Please hate on me. I can talk all the smack I want. But what happens inside is it actually gives me more confidence. You know,
Oh, that's for
me
sure.
people not believing and people hating is by far the biggest motivation. Not to like prove anyone wrong, but it's just like it's a sigh of relief for me. You know, apart from like when I fight at home, I have every person who's saying to me, "Man, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. You're the fucking man. You're the shit, man. I trained with you. Oh man, if you fight how you train, you can do anything in the world." Blah blah blah. That's pressure to me. Me going into Singapore and everyone
Yeah.
saying, "Fuck you, Muhammad's gonna fuck you up," this and that. Man, that's cool. I love that. Thank you very much. You've just
Oh
given me
yeah.
that extra bit to win. And the same thing
Yep.
for if people are swearing at him, he's gonna have a smile on his face, saying, "Cool, man. Everyone thinks I'm gonna win. Let me do what I'm gonna do." You know what I mean? Not worry about everyone
Yeah.
else. Fuck everyone else. Let me do what I'm gonna do, and that's cool. And I know that you understand that, Nick.
All right, Nick.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, Nick. Any happenings going on
Yo.
in Malaysia this week? And he's out. All right, Suman. Um, anything going on in Australia this week?
No, this past weekend we had a BJJ competition, one of the state championships, and we did pretty well. This weekend we've only got one fighter. I know we have a fighter.
March, April.
Oh, he's back.
We'll
We only have
also.
one. Oh, sorry, Nick. Go on.
It's all good, and we also have F3 coming up
Okay,
in
hold
May.
on, Nick. We actually got cut off from whatever you said about Malaysia. So carry on.
Hmm.
Can
Oh,
you start
okay.
again? Yeah.
All right. Okay. We've got the Malaysian Invasion tryouts coming in April,
Uh-huh.
and May we've got two events. We've got three events actually. Singapore One FC, maybe Ultimate Beatdown, and also F3 that is coming in. Yeah, they're gonna be crowning their first ever heavyweight and middleweight champion.
May Ultimate Beatdown. When is it gonna happen? I want to see Slasher fight again.
Well, I'm not entirely sure when Ultimate Beatdown is coming in. The reports on the word is unconfirmed, so I can't give you a date. But I can tell you that it is somewhere around May. So expect some fireworks. And I was lucky enough to get my hands on the fighters that are registering
Uh-huh.
on the fight card, and I'm really excited to see some guys. I see some of my teammates from top team, and I see some guys from Thailand that I've trained with coming into fight, and I'm really excited to see that. So yeah.
Yeah, Helen Harper is situated to fight.
Yeah, I mean, every time Helen Harper fights, it's a really good fight. I mean, Helen's a scrappy little girl, and I just can't wait. I'm a big fan of Helen Harper, actually.
The girl's an angel. She,
Oh
she's
yeah,
like,
she is such a
she's probably one of the nicest
I,
girls that I've ever met. You know, I met Helen a few years back when we both trained at Tiger, and we both made the move over to Phuket top team. You know, that's one person who always has the biggest smile on her face and is always just real eager to train and do well. So this girl was like, when she started off, she wasn't always she had a pretty rough road in her amateur career, and but
yeah.
she's one of those girls that put in the hard work on the mat and has turned it around, and she's real good. If she, you know, I know she's trying out for Tough. There's a big fundraiser for her to get her over to there. If that doesn't happen, I'd like to see her beat up May Oi at Rebel.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think that would be a good
Oh,
fight.
I definitely want to see
I
Harper
wrote
in one.
something when May Oi signed with Rebel. I don't know why, but I just wrote a comment on her photo. I don't know if anyone saw it, but I wrote, "Oh man, Helen told me she." I tagged Helen in it, and I go, "Oh, mate, Oi told me she's gonna beat the crap out of you, Helen. She's gonna break your limbs off." You know, just to kind of like get something going. You know, I was just trying to G everyone
Get
up.
some shit stirred, you know.
Yeah, and then Helen jumped in there. She's like, "Yeah, let's go, let's do this." And then we don't have May Oi jump. We have her trainer jump in and fight her battles like he always does. And jumps in and he's like, "Oh, May Oi never said anything. She acts like a professional. This and that, this and that, this and that." Man, I don't want to see. I don't want to. Listen. Here's a message going out, Silvio. We don't want to hear from you. We want to hear from May. I said that May talked shit about Helen, not Silvio. So May, jump in and talk some shit back. All right? Like we said at that time, we're in the entertainment business. Let's get this going.
Yeah.
Stop hiding behind the bald-headed Brazilian. All right? Stop. That's all I'm saying.
Suwan, I tell you what, the UFC management should hire you, man.
Man, it's actually, I'm telling you, I would. Sean Shelby, Joe Sylvie, you little midget, you better watch out. Coming after you, you little fuck. Him and that toupee of his he's got on. You know, I'm coming for their job. When I'm older, I'm telling you, it's one of my dreams to work like in one of those big organizations. I work with a few promoters back home, doing matchmaking and just helping with promotion duties, just because they like how I talk a lot of shit. But it's actually one thing that I really like. I like working on shows and doing promotional stuff and things like that, and just general matchmaking. So Helen Harper, May Oi, makes sense. She's from Phuket. She's at Phuket top team, so it doesn't cost much to fly her over from Phuket. Fly her over to Singapore. I know that the Singapore's probably going to want to look after May Oi like they do Peter Davis, or Peter Davis is Malaysian or whatever the hell he is. I know you guys like to look
Malaysian.
after. Yeah, they like to look after their hometown guys. Stop protecting them. Stop protecting May. Stop protecting Peter. 1FC. He's shit. Sorry to say that, but it's true. You know, like I see a lot, and it happens in Australia too. We see the local guy always getting protected. You know, and it is part of business. I understand that. I know that Peter Davis is a great fighter. He's not a top level guy that they make him out to be, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I don't think that he's the top level guy that they make him out to be. They make him like 1FC's poster boy just because he looks good. I think I'm way hotter than he is. You know, just saying.
Oh
you know.
boy.
Nick, ring him, tell him I said that, tell him I'm way hotter,
Yeah.
you know. And it's no
Okay,
disrespect.
no problem, no problem.
Uh, I don't mean any disrespect.
Oh,
What I say, you know. But like I said, I'm not. If anyone meets me, I'm not a disrespectful person. I especially to my elders. I'm very respectful to my elders, but I speak when I need when something needs to be said. And I think that May Oi is one of those people that it's not Rebel's fault in this instance. I think it's her manager's fault. She shouldn't have signed as a pro, in my opinion. I think that she needs to still fight a few more times. But if she's gonna be pro, chuck her in with someone. I know what's gonna happen. They're gonna give her someone easy so that she looks like a hero in front of Singapore. But give it to Helen Harper. Let them find out that she ain't legit for shit. Um, and
oh
Helen
yeah.
Harper's gonna beat her ass. You know, I'm pro Helen Harper in this situation. If she doesn't make tough, put her into Rebel because I know she's gonna bring the fight.
Talking about Rebel, Nick, I heard some WeFit guys have been Chad Sanderson have been contacting some WeFit guys. Any news on that?
Uh-huh.
Any news on your
You're
WeFit guys
talking
Uh-huh.
or
right.
Rebel?
Well, I can't reveal anything as of yet because there were a few offers offered to some of my boys, but with respects to them, they haven't given a concrete answer, so I can't officially say anything yet. So until everything is down on paper, then I can start blabbing my mouth left and right. But other than that, no.
How about you, Suman? Any side, any Rebel contacting the Australian side?
Chad who? Like Nick Harris said, I'm kind of in the same boat as he is. There have been talks, but I'm not at a stage right now to say nothing is concrete. Nothing has been set in stone yet. So I speak to Chad and Justin just as friends. Justin messages me every now and then to tell me how well my gym has done. Justin has been nothing but a real nice guy, a good friend actually. Justin doesn't really contact me to say much apart from uh, like how I'm doing. You know, I kind of get the same messages from Chad. I get a message every now and then just saying, "Hey, Saman, how you doing?" You know, just to check up on how I am. We've spoken about a few things, and I'm pretty sure I messaged Chad one night at like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and I'm like, "Hey, man, get Kimbo Slice onto Rebel." Uh, I always say shit like that to me, and Chad is Chad. Chad's alright. Chad's cool. Like I think Chad and Justin are really they are onto something. No matter what, some people might say that it's crazy them kind of coming into this market, and they're relatively young guys. They are pretty young guys, and they're coming into the market where it's real dangerous for them with ONE FC. Man, I see them going places, making it big, and they're on the right path. Uh, as for if anything is in concrete, no, but you'll be hearing from Rebel in the next few weeks as to their date for their show and other things as well. Some things have been said, but man, like I said, I'm gonna keep that one quiet. It's not my place to talk right now. I'm just gonna keep talking to Chad and Justin how I do, and I'm sure that when the time comes that they will reveal what needs to be revealed. All I can say is, man, they're planning something very big, and Rebel 2 is gonna shock the world. I can guarantee that. Rebel 2, Rebel 1. Let's look back on it. We had some fucking legit fighters on that thing. We had Alberto Mina. We had Tayo the Sun. We had that Brazilian dude that was in the Ultimate Fighter, the one that got body shot dropped.
Marcus Vinicius.
That's the one. And then we had Rob Lacida, who everyone knows what I think about. He's the man. And we had Lion Takeshi. That was a really solid first card.
But
Now,
dude, you
whether
forget one person.
who
We had Suman Muktari.
exactly. Exactly, but like in all respect, those guys are the guys that made the show. I was on the undercard, I was on the amateur prelims, and I had so much fun. The most fun I had about Rebel was being treated like a professional. Even though I was an amateur, I was treated like I belonged there, and they were nothing but help. It was their first run. They everything wasn't to time and things like that. But man, they did a good job. And like I said, they got the best fighter in the world on that show, me. um, I'm probably the best kept secret in Australia. I'm by far the best amateur in the world. Um, and like you, hey,
and you're hotter than Peter Davis.
you gave me the most amazing beard award. For the next one, I'm probably gonna have the coolest fucking entrance award. The sickest finish.
Dude, if you want to do an entrance, you must do the Jason Mayhem Miller entrance
Which one was that?
with the schoolgirls in Pride.
Oh no, okay, that's gone a bit far.
With
But
Britney Spears in the background.
I'm gonna get Justin Bieber to walk behind me and like carry some fake belt or some shit. I'm gonna make a rebel belt. And I'm just gonna have Justin Bieber walking behind me holding the belt. But listen, like I said, if Rebel, everything is an if, by the way, that I'm saying. If Rebel was to have me back for Rebel 2, know that I will be the most entertaining man on that show. And if anyone tries to upstage me, whatever weight class it is, we're having a fight. I don't care. I'm gonna fight before the fight. Don't ever try and upstage me at the weigh-ins. Don't try and outtalk me. I will be the loudest, most cockiest, arrogant little fuck there. I'm gonna be that little pestering, annoying kid that's gonna annoy the shit out of everyone. And everyone's going to say, who's this 12-year-old with a beard next to me? I'm there to annoy, I'm there to entertain, and I'm there to win. And that's what I'm going to do. Even if my entrance is stupid or whatever it is, know that when the cage door shuts, I'm going to kill someone. And I'm not going to be doing any laying on praying. If you want to bang, whoever's there, I'll bang. If you want to go to the floor, I'll go to the floor. If you want to play a submission game, I'd love to play a submission game. If you want to test who punches harder, I'll be there to punch harder. Let's go. Whatever you want to do, tell me. Tell me what you want to do. If you want to know my game plan, I'll tell you my game plan when we look each other straight in the face.
Wow.
And let me tell you something. I can tell someone exactly what I'm gonna do. I can tell you what submission I'm gonna get them with, and I'll still do it. I'm that good.
Alright, I can't wait for that to happen. Nick, as I was talking to Suman about entrances, Nick, do you have a fantasy entrance for MMA?
Oh, okay. Here it goes. I want to be flanked by two lions, have a helicopter carry an elephant, while me on top of the elephant lower it in the middle of the arena as I walk from the screen up until the stage on my elephant being flanked by two lions.
That's fucking cool.
Alright, so I appreciate it. Okay, lastly, Suman, the happenings in Australia.
Okay, yeah, this past weekend, like I said, we had a BJJ tournament. Our guys did real well. We had 15 competitors, 17 medals. It was real cool. We saw some people getting put to sleep. Had 25-0 slammings and some cool takedowns and things. We had 0-all wins from some of our guys. It was an awesome event. Great work to my guys. I told all my MMA guys. We had a lot of MMA fighters into that in that competition, so it was real cool. But this weekend, I've only got one fighter. My young kid, 16-year-old Trent Nino Loco Girdham. He went 2-0 in the past month in his K1 kickboxing fights. He's 16 years old. Both times fought someone who's 24 and 25 years old, both with more experience and outclassed and smashed them up. And now the next fight he's got against a kid from the country. Oh, not really a kid. He's 20 years old or something. He's 16. But again, fighting above his weight class. He walks around at like 60 kilos. He's fighting at 63, I think, on the weekend. And And yeah, it's gonna be cool. That's the only fight we have. We were meant to have more guys on the show, but had a few pullouts. So we got him this week, and then next week I've got my brother having another professional MMA fight. Again, jumping in there, looking to stay undefeated and keep those first round finishes coming. Um, he's going against a guy with a bit more experience than him. And he's a banger. He's good. He's all round. He's got a good jiu-jitsu game, good wrestling game, good striking game. Tall guy at bantamweight. Real tall guy at bantamweight actually. And so it should work out well. I've got like 3 guys. That's Gladiator, 5th of April. Should be a great show. It's on. The promoter is actually James Tahuna's older brother, Tama Tahuna, who is a professional mixed martial artist. Professional mixed martial artist as well. But he's got a great show on, and it should be real good. You know, he's got a lot of good fighters on that, a lot of good up and coming young guys, and yeah, I should have about 3 or 4 guys on that show as well.
Talking about fighting, Nick, you're supposed to fight a Muay Thai fight, isn't it?
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, apparently, none of the guys that fought. Apparently, my fight was offered to a few Muay Thai guys with 0-0, with 0-0 records. I mean, I am fighting Muay Thai first time, so it's 0-0. And, well, they found out that I'm a 1FC fighter. They saw my fight against Zuli, and they just didn't want to have anything to do with me.
Oh, that sucks.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of these fighters, a lot of these guys just want to name of fighters, so they.
Hello. Are we out? All right, we are out. Both guys are out. All right, both guys are out, guys. I'm so sorry. I have to end the show. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes. We'll come back next week and we'll continue about what Nick has to say about the Muay Thai fight. Thank you for tuning in for Monday Night Mayhem. See you guys next week.